Hello, world. Don't forget to drink your water today. So, we're going to be going live with the filmmaker and going to bring him in right now. Hello, Nature Boy. How are you doing? How's everyone's New Year going so far? It kind of feels the same to me. So, he's a filmmaker and hey, Fairjane, how are you doing? I keep trying to make a list of films I'm looking forward to this year, and I can't find one. um, I have thoughts about the Odyssey, but we'll talk about that later. I hate this phone so much. There you go. Hello, hello.
How you doing?
Good, good. Nice to meet you officially. Let me fix my phone.
Ni- Yeah, it's
Okay.
nice to meet you as well.
All right. So if you could please introduce us to yourself.
All right. Well, my name is Wade Simmons. I'm a filmmaker from Chicago. I have a background in pro wrestling, trained for that for like 2 years, and I'm also in the funeral business. So, jack of all trades and a master in none of.
Started with that. What got you into the funeral business?
I always wanted to do it ever since I was a child. I went to like a lot of funerals and things of that nature, and I remember as a child just saying that I think this was something that I wanted to do. So when I got in high school, my teacher, Mrs. Anderson, she called one of the local funeral homes in Chicago. So I got a young man who wanted to be a funeral director. So the owner said, "Hey, tell him to buy a gold tie, get a white shirt, get a black suit." And I started working for them right away in high school. And then after I graduated, I ended up going to college. And then so it took me a while to get out of school for it because mortuary college is very hard. It ain't no joke, trust me. But I had a lot of fun, met a lot of cool people. But yeah, it's been about going on 16 years this year that I've been involved with it. So been a long journey.
I mean, hey, at least you got a job. So, as in the funeral business, you must be a huge fan of horror films.
I'm not gonna say a huge fan. I watch them, but I'm not like the horror is not really my genre. I'm more like a comedy, sci-fi kind of guy. But I used to watch some horror films like The Leprechaun. That's more of a comedy to me. But
Yeah, honestly, if you think about it, yeah. How did you get into wrestling?
so I actually wrestled in high school. My freshman year, I quit, and then my senior year, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna finish what I started. So I went back to wrestling in high school my senior year, and then after now this is crazy, but after I went to film school, when I got out of school, I'm like, I want to make this documentary. So I wanted to make this documentary about pro wrestling. So I reached out to a guy by the name of Steve Boss. He's been in the wrestling business a long time, and instead of me doing the documentary, he actually offered to train me for it. So so I ended up training for like 2 years. I had a lot of fun, So, still kind of doing some stuff in the background, but it's been a pretty cool journey. Like I met a lot of cool people, a lot of people in AEW and things of that nature. Like it's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of great people.
I was asking this, I think it was last night. I know that John Cena is retired. Who is going to be the next big star in in wrestling? Hey, Sam.
Well, to be honest with you, that's kind of tough because right now it's like so many great talented wrestlers, even on the indie scene right now. So to me, like I'm a very big fan like of a wrestler by the name of Izzy Marina. We got Lulu Lorena, who's a dear friend of mine that I know personally. I got a lot of up and coming friends, but like on the scale that you're talking, to be honest with you, I don't know because like it's a lot of talented people. Like it's I got a good friend Isaiah Wolf. He's doing some big things out in New York. So and I mean it's because the wrestling business is very big. Like I'm not just like a mainstream media type of guy. Like I mean on the indie scene, there's like a lot of people. Axel Rico, a young man that I also trained. Well, he actually helped train us as well. So it's a lot of people to be honest with you. I think that with the way that things are now, like the way that media has changed now, I think like how can I say this? I think everybody has potential to be like a big star now because things are not like they used to be, right? Like it's not just mainstream media putting people in front of us right now. Everybody has kind of the opportunity to kind of create their own platform and kind of expand their reach. So I think it's kind of hard to say to be honest.
That was a wrong answer. The answer was supposed to be you. But what's your favorite documentary?
That's a great question. My favorite documentaries are like actually some of the ones that I actually watch about like Walt Disney because as a child, to be honest with you, I actually like really followed his life and read a lot about him. And like I read a lot of documentaries, like I read a lot of books about people, but to actually just watch how like some people who just had a dream and they just stuck to it. And so like I watch a lot of his documentaries. I've watched I also saw this documentary about this guy that was like a dumpster diver, and he what he did was like he went through like garbage and he found like people's treasures and he put a story to it. I like stuff like that, like just about people who doing things that they're passionate about. Like, cause like I said, I'm not just a mainstream media guy. Like it's so many talented people out here. Like I just love seeing people share their stories. So
You, you have to send me that later. I want to
okay.
watch.
Yeah, I went to I actually seen it at a screening out in Missouri. I went to like this random screening that I found on Eventbrite, and we went to just support a local. I don't even know who the filmmaker was, but it was just like I said, I like supporting people, and I love hearing everybody's story because look, everybody been through something in everybody's life you can learn something from. So
Yeah,
I support
yeah.
everybody.
What's your next documentary going to be about?
So my next documentary is actually going to be about training for pro wrestling. I've been working on that for about almost 5 years now. So we actually got most of the footage shot, but I'm still gonna probably shoot a little more. But it's actually in the editing room now. So yeah, it's about training for pro wrestling and some of the people that I met along the way. So I want to help them tell their stories as well. Look, like I said, I try to support everybody that's doing great things.
Who are you? Why are
And
you so
just
supportive?
Well, because to me, everybody is somebody. That's a principle that I live by. Everybody has a talent. Everybody has a skill. Everybody is somebody in my book. That's just because again, being a guy that works in the funeral business, a lot of times when you are working with a family and you're burying their loved one, you don't really always know anything about this person, but you get to hear about their life. And so me, if I can work in a business where we celebrate people when they die, like I choose to celebrate people while they live. And so I'm very big on that. Like it doesn't matter people's status or background and none of that stuff. Like to me, I just support people and I want to give people their flowers while they can smell them. So that's kind of what made me who I am.
You better not make me ruin my makeup.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was very beautiful. That was very beautiful. Okay, okay. Um, how do you find one of your is called peace. So how does one find peace?
Well, for me, I can only really speak for me, but what brings me peace is just going outside and then looking at nature. I'm not a person that consumes too much media, only because I do believe in like setting like healthy boundaries. Like you just can't bombard your mind with stuff. Sometimes you just gotta go outside, take a walk, or just just sit back and reflect. I do like a lot of reflecting and just a lot of just sitting back and just thinking. I don't worry about things that I can't really control. It's kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, I've learned that the hard way several times. Um, oh, what kind of camera do you use for your film work?
So me, I like the basic like C100s. I work with a lot of different filmmakers, so like we do use like all different kind of things. But my favorite camera is like the C100 because it's like nostalgia for me personally. That was like one of the first cameras I started using professionally. So I don't know, I'm kind of just hip to it. I'm stuck with it.
And it's very easy to use.
Yeah, pretty basic, pretty simple.
Okay, let's talk about 2026. What films are you looking forward to this year?
So honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to like finishing up honestly my pro wrestling documentary. I'm gonna be a little selfish on this one, but I'm looking forward to that because like it's been a long like process to kind of get it made. Because like I said, when I started um to like put it together, instead of me putting it together, I ended up training for it, which which kind of like took a little bit of time from it. But I think that experience just made it so much better. And I kind of know like the struggles and the ups and downs that I had while trying to work on it. So to just really get that complete is kind of relief for me. So I'm looking forward to that, but I'm also looking forward to doing more documentaries because as a filmmaker, personally, I found more of a love for just, you know, finding different stories and helping people tell them. And just hearing stories about other people, like on the positive side. Yeah, there are some negative things that happen in people's life too as well. But I tend to just kind of like to hear how people overcame their setbacks and things of that nature. So any pretty much documentary that's very inspiring, I'm looking forward to it.
I You have me so hyped for this. I really wait to watch it. Okay. Um, Stranger Things. So you're a Stranger Things fan. I really I watched the first episode and I was like, but did you think the season finale?
To be honest with you, I actually liked it. I always think that, from a filmmaker perspective, that there's always something you can do differently. From a fan perspective, there's always something you can do differently. But I'll talk about what I did. Like, I like that they kind of ended it the way that they started it because, like, you saw the first episode, they started it like kind of like with Mike kind of telling the story around the table. And then when they ended it, they kind of ended it with him telling the story around the table and things of that nature. And they kind of left like what happened to like 11. They kind of left it up to the audience to kind of interpret, like, of course they know what happened to her, but it's like nobody knows. But it kind of reminded me of the ending of the Sopranos and Everybody Hates Chris. Like on the Sopranos, like we never knew what happened to the main character, like once it went off, like. And so it was left to the audience interpretation. I know like some people kind of look at it like it's lazy writing it, but to me, I don't know. I think that was kind of like a good way to end it because you never know. Maybe one day they may want to go back and do something else with the story. So I think it's okay to leave things kind of like left unanswered because you might want to come back later on and kind of finish it off. So I think it's always okay to leave room for growth. That's just my personal analysis.
I saw that they're making a cartoon series of it. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's pretty cool because like it's kind of like a series that take place in between some of the previous seasons. So to kind of get some, different stories that we haven't seen yet is cool. And who knows, like, what we may see may answer some of the questions that we had in the finale. So that's that's kind of part of being creative, like intentionally, you know. So I give every filmmaker room to kind of play around with their work, you know, because everybody has their own way of telling their stories, you know. I respect that as an artist.
This is not one of the questions. Are you a Harry Potter fan?
I was when I was younger. I've kind of gotten away from it now, but hey, I was. But when I was younger, my favorite one was the Chamber of Secrets.
What do you think of them remaking it as a TV series?
Personally, I think that it wasn't really like it well because I'm 33 now. But to me, it's like I don't know. I only think remakes should be done every 100 years, to be honest. but I would say this. I feel like if they wanted to like do anything, they could have just maybe took the franchise and maybe created something new with it. You know, I think I would have been more of a fan of that than anything, you know. And that's with any series. Like I think that's just like I said, that's just me. But I think that every 100 years they should do remakes because it's so many other stories you can tell. Like I don't always think we have to keep remaking the same stuff, you know. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. Okay. Okay, okay. Back, uh, so what, how do you feel about the current state of Hollywood, and is there any hope for it?
Uh to be honest with you, I think that Hollywood is just like any other industry. It's changing. I mean, it's just like the funeral business is changing. I mean, it's change is a constant part of life. And so to me, I think that like Hollywood, the changes that's going on, we all know that it's by design, but I think personally, like I think the one thing that people should probably start doing is like this is like all the independent filmmakers. You know, I think it's okay to, you know, find other ways of making money to fund projects to make sure that you can still pay actors and talent and things like that because it is a business. But I also think that you know this is more to me of an opportunity for people that are like on the indie scene to just kind of you know take control and just kind of you know kind of keep the thing going because at the end of the day we got to remember that it was kind of the studios that kept a lot of people out of the business. You know what I'm saying? So to me, you know what I'm saying? Like to me, I think that more people should just focus on creating their own opportunities. You know, it just is what it is. Like that's beyond our control. But it's like why try to like you know fight for a seat at the table that somebody that you know what I'm saying they don't really care if you make it or not. So I think you know as an independent filmmaker, this is just a time for people to take advantage of it. You know.
And I find that a lot of very alarming that indie filmmakers are adopting the Hollywood personality, if that makes sense. It's like we can work together. Like I'm right here. I'm your next door neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't need Hollywood anymore. We can work with each other. And I find that alarming that they're being so selfish and self-centered. How do you how do you think they adapt that personality that like I'm so stuck up, I'm so much better than you?
Because it's learned behavior, and I think sometimes it's like people kind of that's kind of what the impression that people may get from some celebrities and stars. But like I said, I've been a person that I've got a chance to meet people and work with people, especially in the professional wrestling world. And even before then, I was working with actors and stuff. And so to me, I try to tell people like this: look, all of us are just human beings trying to do a job. Like ain't nobody, you know, some people might make a little more money, some people might have a little more reach, but at the end of the day, we're still a person. And so, to me, I think that you know people just have to check their egos and be kind to everybody because you never know. Cause like even when I you know work on Chicago PD and some of the other Chicago shows, you know, we work with different actors and things of that, and I try to you know tell a lot of the other actors and extras and things of that nature, like you know. everybody is somebody. So you never walk past anybody or look down on anybody because you don't never know who can help you or who you can help. So I think it's always kind of the mindset to kind of stay humble. And just again, like I've opened up invitations to work with different people, as to your point, and sometimes people want to work with you, sometimes they don't. But look, I just keep it moving. But I mean, I'm not. I'll work with anybody that wants to. If they want to work with me, we can try to make something happen if we can do that. So, I think there's no reason to just push people away because you never know. A lot of us don't realize that we're stronger together, and when you connect with people, you never know how much you may like really relate to them. I think it's I don't know, like, and see, like me, I'm not a type of person like wait on people to approach me. Like if I see, like how I met you, like if I see somebody doing something that I like, I'll reach out and say, hey, I like what you're doing. Now, some people respond, some people don't, but you if you don't take the chance to really get to know people and connect with them, it's I don't know. It's like because filmmaking is community too as well, and so collaboration is everything. And so it's not even always about who has the biggest name or who has the biggest following. Like I know I love being creative. Like I said, it really doesn't matter to me. It's just nice to work with people.
Exactly, exactly. Now, speaking of working with people, how are you looking forward to working with AI?
I'd rather work with people, honestly. I know that artificial intelligence is a part of life now, but I understand that to me, this is just my own personal. I believe it's a bigger agenda behind it that I ain't even gonna get into. But I will say that there's nothing wrong per se with AI, but I think the thing is that like a lot of the companies and stuff that want to utilize it, we know that they want to utilize it to like save money and things. That's all. That is a whole nother thing for another day. But I'm gonna always prioritize actual real people because I love people and I value people and I think that everybody is worth something. And so I don't know. Like to me, I'm a type of person that believe in being kind to people and just being concerned about people because all of us are in this world together. So because even with these big companies and corporations, they would be nothing if the people didn't buy from them. So why hurt the people that are is supporting? It's like it's some things just don't make sense to me.
Yeah,
And I ain't afraid to say it. I'll say it again. Like I'm never in favor of anybody that don't have a heart for people. And like I said, I do believe there's a very bigger agenda behind AI that I ain't even gonna get into. But that's a conversation for another day. But I don't. I'm against corporate greed. I boldly say that. You know.
I was watching the game yesterday and looking at the ads. Which why are there so many ads now? Like, geez, Louise, let me just watch the players play. But I would point out and say that's an AI ad. I like you can see it. You can tell that that's not a real human.
Oh yeah. And and to me it's kind of sad, but I think that right now it's up to the people to start being more vocal and like because again, like I said, it's everything is fine until it really affects people. And so I just hope that people wake up and realize that like, we don't have to tolerate this. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with, being creative and using artificial intelligence for good. But from put it like this, in this world we live in, we know that I believe that there are other intentions for why all this is being like why all this is happening. You know, that like I say, that's a story for another day. Like I say, it's not necessarily the AI personally, but it's the people behind it that I'm speaking of. You know.
Yeah. What do you think? This is not one of the questions. I apologize. I'm being unprofessional. But what do you think of Bruce Willis, James Earl Jones, and someone else? Forgive me. Rest in peace. I don't mean to forget you. But what do you think of them selling their likeness to AI?
I mean, if they made the choice to if they made the choice to give them permission, I'm not knocking anybody that gave it permission because that was their choice. But for the people who didn't give it permission, like I don't like I think that honestly that all AI like companies should have permission from people to even use their likeness and stuff. Like I think and I'm just saying every human being, period. Like I don't think that this is just me, but I don't think that people should be able to take AI and like misuse people's likeness and stuff. Like it's not I understand it's one thing to be an artist, but it's another thing to like, use AI to like degrade people and stuff like that. Like I'm not a big fan of that. Like I think that everybody should have a say so in how their image and likeness is being used. That's just me because everybody is a public figure nowadays. If you are on social media, you have a platform. Don't make a difference if you got 5 or 6 followers or 3 million. Doesn't really make a difference. If you have content out there, you are a public figure. So I think that personally, like everybody should have a right to like how their images are being used.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So as you know, the past 4 years they've been very heavy on DEI. What are your thoughts on them slowly trying to get rid of it in Hollywood?
Um, well, I put it like this. I feel like that Hollywood and all that and even the government, they can really do what they choose to. But I think that as an individual and as people, if they want to do that, then it's our job to continue to tell our own stories. And it's our job to continue to support one another and help one another and come together and create our own communities. Because again, we live in this world where like we understand that a lot of the industries are gate kept anyway. So, why not use that? Like I always say, to every disadvantage, it's always a plus side that comes out of it. And so I tend to focus on the part that we can do. And so to me, that's why, like I said, it comes down to like artists like ourselves collaborating and coming together. And those that maybe do have a little more capital than others, we can come together and try to make something happen. So, I think it's just a perfect opportunity to do our own thing. But to me, like I said, to me, I'm more concerned like about the freedom of speech part. But as long as we got the freedom of speech and freedom of press, they can do whatever they want with the other stuff, like, but because, if we can come together and do our own thing, then we can make something happen. And I'm not even just speaking in terms of, just, race, because we know that, white, black, don't make a difference of what cultural background we come from. We're all people. And as people, that we can all come together and we can tell the type of stories that we want to tell, then hey, let's make something happen. Look, I've
Yeah,
been look. Most of my career has been me being independent and on the indie scene anyway. So it ain't stopping me none. I'll make stuff whether it's 5 people watching or 5 don't really make me the difference. I love being creative. I love what I do. So I would just tell any artist to like not don't let that suppress or stop your voice. Just keep creating the things you like and find the right communities that work for you. And hopefully we can all come together and just create, unique stories and do big things because again, a lot of these big companies or corporations, they would be nothing without the people. And I keep saying that, the people are the most important thing because without the people, no company or corporation would even be able to do anything. So everybody matters. So to me, I think that it's just a thing that people have to just value one another. That's my take on that.
exactly. Oh my gosh, it's like common sense. Oh, okay. Last question, and then we'll let you go. So, are you a Bears fan?
Yes, I'm a Bears fan. But look, it's only by birth because I'm a Chicago native, so I gotta rep the Bears and the Bulls too. Look, I gotta rep my like. Don't get me wrong, I'm a Lakers fan as well. I also like the New York Knicks. Um, but and even the Minnesota Timberwolves too. Like I think they got like a nice team as well, but Chicago is home, so yes, I'm a Bears fan.
Do you think a bear can be kind?
Yeah, I think a bear could be kind. I think any creature can be kind because, like people, they have their own personalities. You got the nicer ones, you got the aggressive ones. So, animals have their own little personalities just as much as human beings do.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. Thank you so much for speaking with me. And definitely send me that documentary you were talking about and when your documentary is finished, and I'll be watching it.
All right, and thanks for having me. And I'll just say this to anybody: stay great, stay amazing, and don't be afraid to pursue your dreams. And be always remember this too: you ain't got to change who you are, and you don't have to compromise your values or change, anything about yourself. If you are a person that wants your voice to be heard, keep sharing your voice, keep loving your heart for other people. Don't despise people, even if people don't see the value in what you do. It's okay. It's they right. Just keep it moving and look for the people that do appreciate what you do. Stay well.
I needed to hear that. Thank you. All right.
Anytime.
You have a blessed day.
You too.